never going to vote again in Nigeria. And 1999, I didn't vote. 2003, 2007, until 2011. And I've shared this story many times. And the person who motivated me to come out, because it was a candidate, I vote candidates. I really don't vote parties. Candidate I look for. And that was Nuhu Ribadu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nuhu Ribadu was the reason why, after how many years?
That's 2011.
Yeah, that's 2011.
He was flying the flag of ACN
that year.
Yes.
I knew he had just finished his EFCC thing, and the fact that, you know, he was bribed, governors were bribing, he didn't collect, but all of those things, like, yes, this is a young man, now he can motivate. I came out, I was campaigning my own little, I mean, Nuhu Ribadu is running for office, I'm not going to vote for him. That was what he represented.
He has moved.
That was very blunt.
No, it is. It's what it is. And all of that. So, and to see where we are today, that it has even worsened, it's actually a matter of concern. The electoral reform, it's needed. It's something that we needed like yesterday. And so it's something that we all need to continue to advocate for it and ensure that we get it. Is it going to be the last? Because I see a lot of people who keep saying that, oh, but we had electoral reform before, they didn't stop anything. No, it's a living document. That's the law, constitution, the law, everything. When you make law, they're a living document. It's not static. It's not that you do it and that's the end. Politicians will change, and the kind of politicians we have in Nigeria, which is not supposed to be, because you're supposed to have people with integrity being running for office. But here, it's more likely, like, you're more likely to win if you're a criminal than if you're not. In Nigeria, that's the truth about it. And so what people must understand, you must keep on evolving. You must keep on looking at where are the things that are wrong, that are not working, and keep fixing them. For example, electronic transmission of results. We've seen that a lot of times, at the point where you count the result and you're taking it to the collation center, things happen. Different results are counted. You see another thing. When they're collating, it becomes something else. And so the thing is now, can you just transmit this thing directly? Technology has evolved. For crying out loud. If the way I voted in 1993, where I was being counted, somebody now wrote it down, they took it somewhere, they had to now be adding the math together. We've seen situations where professors cannot even see in the daylight. They can't see this. And, you know, adding the maths together, 30-something years, why are we still doing that? Why are you waiting for people from Borno to come to Abuja before you can now join the presidential? Are they using cameras? Are they working? So you just transmit it electronically, and it's going there real time. You're saying it. Oh, these people's own has come in. Boom. The numbers say. You just be seeing the figures. Everybody can see that. We saw what happened in South Africa, where it was even fun. They had viewing centers. They could see it all around, and they exactly. And they have population. India is the most populous nation
in the whole world.
We are
600 million registered voters.
We are just, you know, a most populous black nation. And so they're doing this, and you could be fun. Trust Nigeria. We don't need to fund, I'm betting, we'll be gisting, you know, having fun about it, and the result you see.
We'll be counting.
And at that stage, whoever wins, whether you voted the person,
or
you did not vote the person, you like the person, you did not like them, you know that's the mandate, and that's it. But a situation whereby someone will vote, and then the election is rigged, that's a civilian coup. But we'll come to that, by the way. So electronic transmission is one of them. The other thing, there are so many other things also that come in. One, of course, is the fact that the burden of proof should be on INEC. Right now, the burden of proof is not on INEC. INEC conducts election. We give them humongous amounts of money. They do this election, and they just go home and be sipping coffee and tea.
Until you go to court.
Even when they go to court, they don't even bother to do anything. I think they can adopt, the whatever argument of the plaintiff. They just do their thing because there's nothing on them. Even when the courts compel them to either share the results or bring out certain evidence, they don't do it. They're lax about it, and they get away with it. We must get to a situation that it's INEC that must prove to us that the election that they said they did was free, fair, and credible. And free, fair, and credible election does not start on the day of election. It starts way before. If you're denying opponents from using spaces in the state, that's not free, fair, credible election. If your incumbent is using government institutions, apparatus, equipment, finances, money, this thing to do their campaign, that's no longer free, fair, credible election. These are some of the things that need to be stopped. You can't be in office and then you're using either the jet If it's a presidential, you're using presidential jet to fly, did you pay for it?
Office
you
vehicles.
need to pay office vehicles. You need to pay for those things because your opponents are paying for them.
Yes,
and if you aren't paying for them, they are paying for them. There's no longer free, fair, credible election. Another thing for me also is the fact that we have gotten to a place where millions of Nigerians will vote. And then some people will sit because they have wig on their head, 12 of them, they will change this thing. That has to stop. We must get to a place where the judiciary will no longer have the power to declare who is winner.
Yes.
What they should have the power to do is to say, let there be
Go
a
back to
recount.
elections.
Recount. First
There
of
are
all,
recounts,
there's been this, they are disputing. INEC. Bring all the...
To save money, recount, yes.
Yeah, the first one is recount. We must have two options. Bring all the ballot papers. Let's sit down. Where are all the polling unit agents, the candidates, whatever? Sit down. Let's be counting. Let's share the paper. We can say, okay, this one is for this party. This is party B. This is party C. This is party... Okay, let's recount them again. From the recounting, is it still the same? You can see clearly or see the people, the thumbprint, the ballot papers are good. Everything is counted the same. Who is the winner? Is it the person you declared before? Okay, fine. Yeah, it goes. Is it not? They recounted. Or... go back where the recount is not very clear, whatever. Go back and conduct a fresh election. This one that you now have, because what we have now is a corrupt politician, and right now the judiciary is the plaything of corrupt politicians in Nigeria.
Yes.
And you see people going around. It's like you shop. I will leave my village in Agbede. I will go to Bunukudu in Jigawa State to go and look for judgment, to go and file a case. That's what they do. They go all around. It's almost like entrepreneurship. So they go all around shopping for either judicial, either injunction, judgment, this, that. So that needs to stop. And what we have now are corrupt politicians. They don't even bother about election. They don't even bother about anything. All they need to do, first of all, they bribe the INEC officials, and the ones who are going to declare the result, they get the result declared in their favor, and then they simply go to court and go and bribe in the court. And then you've spent your time campaigning, you've done the right thing, people have voted for you, everything is taken away from them. And when you take away the mandate of the people, you take away the power, it's heinous. It's actually a crime against humanity, because they've come out, they've stood for someone, and then you find that somebody who came forth is now coming first. Why did I go out in the first place to go and stand in that street, in the sun, and put my life on this? Remember, in Nigeria, when you're voting, you're not sure you're coming back home. A lot of people have gone to simply cast their vote and they never return home. I remember 2019, the first time voter, I think it was 20 or thereabout, in Kogi State, that was killed during that 2019 election. He was excited because he kept posting about it on his social media, pages. He was going to vote. This is his first time. And this boy never made it home. And then you do all of that, and then some judges will say that.
Because I remember that story.
Yeah, it's a boy that, for me, it touched me a lot, because I remember in 1993, that,
almost at the same age.
Yeah, almost the same age. I had voted also. If I was killed then, would I be here today?
All right. I wanted to ask, let me pick it from here. The former Honorable Minister of Sports, Honorable Solomon Dalong, was here. Isn't this last week or so?
Yes, last week.
And he said something, because I'm interested on the timing of this electoral reform. He said something that the institutions we have today are not capable of initiating and starting the reform. That come 2027, even though Asiwaju appoints Sheyi as the INEC chairman, that the people will prevail. But don't you think it's more imminent to start the reform now than waiting to probably use some kind of people's power to remove Sheyi or compel Sheyi, the INEC chairman, to declare the results of the people, where the people still have the prerogative to select or elect their leaders?
Electoral reform is ongoing. It's going on. People have been advocating for it. Even at the National Assembly, the lawmakers, they are working on it. They are doing electoral reform. So the thing that first of all happens is this. When this electoral reform is done, which of them are they going to reform? Which of them are they going to leave as it is? Which of them are they going to put? Remember, like when we had the 2022 amended Electoral Act, that was when they had this transmission of results. But in the case, what now happened was that it wasn't made mandatory. It was left at the discretion of INEC. So now people are saying amend that to make it mandatory.
Yeah.
Whether INEC likes it or not, you must upload this result from the polling unit. If you don't have, like, leave it, go and do the election again if there's one thing or the other. There's also, so the thing is, it's not that electoral reform is not going on, but what are they going to put in? There's also a place where, I can't remember exactly how it is, where the lawmakers had made it in such a way that they are losing out. What happened was that if you have an office, you can't be a delegate or something like that if you're already holding office. So when they did it in 2022 election, they didn't realize that they were shortchanging themselves. So that's what also some of the things, that they want to also correct in this instance. But the all other things of, making INEC, ensuring that INEC, does not has the burden of proof, probably voting, putting all the votes together on the same day. Why do we have situation whereby I will vote for president, Senate, House of Rep today, then 2 weeks later, I wait for governor,
another logistic cost.
It's 5 papers. Put it in front of
me. We'll do it one pump.
As at that time, not the one that, okay, this person has already won, then you now put your might, you are now helping the other one.
Exactly.
On that, they let everybody be fighting
everybody
for himself.
will running for himself.
Yes. So if I finish voting president, put the 5 bosses.
Yes.
Presidency. Who is my senator? Who is my House of Rep? Who is my governor? Who is my House of Assembly? Shikena, I'm done on that day. So those are some of the reforms people are asking for. The other one also for me that I think for me, I take it personally, that why don't we have the pictures of the people who are running for office?
So we know them.
Put them there. I'm tired of seeing only party. Put the party, put the person's picture. So that in the community, if that person is a thief,
they will know.
They will know.
Don't be this, oh, not doggy now. Don't be this thief, be this. Doggy, ballot paper. When I can't see, they don't put thief for ballot paper, they will see it. Because we have people, we must recognize the fact that we have a lot of people who are not educated, unfortunately. And I always say, democracy without education is a disaster. If you don't have an educated populace, it's always a disaster. A professor of politics will vote one person waiting under the bridge. Whenever you go cancel and vote. Vote now. It's not at one place. So if you allow these people, let them see who these people are, then they'll be able to say this. Another thing also is to say, for example, for me, like when you're talking about the electoral reform, you vote parties, right? We vote parties in this country because the party is a platform through which you run. And somebody gets into office, and the next thing the person says, oh, he's leaving this party, he's going to party, so party. There is freedom of association, right? No doubt about it. If you want to leave the party, leave. Go to the other party. But the position you want, you are leaving it in that party. But let the party be the ones to now choose someone to replace.
But that's what we have, except for the exception. But in Nigeria, they convert the exception to the rule.
So, but that's the thing. Because, normally, when you are having either constitution, either acts, law, whatever it is, you're looking at it that the people who are going to work around it are people with integrity. So they end up doing the right thing. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we don't have such. So every lacuna
must be closed.
They use it to do one thing or the other. And then they'll not say that, oh, there's a problem in the crisis in the party, because that's what the constitution said. But where there's a crisis in the party, then you can. Now, who defines crisis? So the thing is that we now have to change that to say, where there's crisis in the party and you feel you cannot stay there and solve the crisis, leave the position. Not be crisis, they drive
exactly.
Leave
the process. So that you can go to another position.
Yes, you want to change, fine and good. Change. You've been voted in as senator, representing certain people under party A. Now you want to go to party B because party B is in power or whatever. Fine, go to party B. Leave that your senatorial position. But that party A, choose one person among you people. Let him take it there. That will stop this nonsense of people just entering there and then jumping from one place to the other. One of the things we have to understand is that, look, as much as people behave in the manner in which they behave, you need to begin to close those loopholes, tighten them. And I will just round up on this to say, if we look at the United States of America, with the coming of Trump, a lot of things that we never knew, even his first administration, we never knew were happening. We've seen them. So it depends on the kind of people that you put in. Where they are beyond laws, there are also conventions, which are guiding, guiding rules, but they are not formalized. They are not codified.
They are not laws.
They are not laws. They are not codified. They are just that everybody knows that this is just like somebody say, okay, on Friday people wear native to office. So it's not a law. But you just know that yes, on Friday shall we dress like we dress down, not this formal kind of dressing. So, but when you have someone who comes in and they will use those things against the system. So what you now have to do, you now have to start, closing those loopholes and not give them the room to be to use all of that against the state.
Okay, but you see, I wanted to talk on the reform process that is going on right now. I know there has been some advocacy from Peter Randy and Oaks Okwala. Now, but they are not. They submitted it to the Senate and the House of Rep. And now I know they are going around the geopolitical zone. Now, there are not much of information about it. So that the people, in fact, I practically watched the one they were doing in Kotepene. By the second they said they were done. When the
public hearing being
was
done
still
by
going
the
on. Yes, the public hearing being done by now. Now, we need a lot of that advocacy in that particular area to inform the people to go to these venues so that these things will not be, by some people, then they will come back and say, oh, this is what we have put. Okwopala told us, he said, the caveat that was put there was caused by Lawal and Ojus Okalu, saying that they don't have network in their area village. And all that. And from what we gathered, when the IRS...
also this person from Borno, the Senate Undume.
Okay.
They don't have electricity, right? When they talk about electricity.
Yes, electricity, exactly.
I'm like, if you are a senator, you've been in the National Assembly since 1999, and your village or your constituency
don't have
electricity, then they should sit out the election. You should not even run. They should, because if not, they are not capable of voting competent someone that will actually get those development to them for over 20-something years.
If I imagine
someone to say things don't work, they don't even understand. Yes, they don't understand how when they make this statement, they don't understand how indicted, the enormity of what they're saying.
Okay, now going from electoral reforms, which we
let's not go because we were sorry. I know I jumped in, but what I saw you going into, when we say yes, there needs to be awareness creation, and that's where the media comes in. There has to be, because in as much as it's called public hearing, the this thing for it wasn't as loud as it should be, the publicity on the public hearing. So a lot of people don't even know there is a public hearing going on. And sometimes also these public hearings, when you go there, you're actually not allowed in. It's not as public as the public hearing should be. You begin to hear, oh, you must know someone, especially the ones they do in the National Assembly. Though this one, they did it in the 6 geopolitical zones. And so, and for the lawmakers, it pays them more when people don't come, because then they are not scrutinized, because it's a whole lot of work. People have they have to take in every input that people are making. But I know within those areas, for those who are advocating for it, some of them have been there, they've been talking about it, but you needed more of the public coming in to say, these are the things we want, these are the things that we don't want. But in all this thing, if you look at the technicality of it, they've done public hearing, whether it was one day, it was this thing, it's not late for the people to now have protested and said, no, you're supposed to do a certain number of days, you have to do it, and people are there. But on paper now they'll say, oh, they've done this public hearing. But at the end of the day, for me, just to say this on the issue of electoral reform, and not just electoral reform, in terms of laws or any other act that needs to be out there, the backbone of democracy is actually the legislative arm.
Exactly.
It's not the executive. The executive don't have power.
No.
And so the legislative arm, they are the ones who make laws. They have oversight function. They ratify treaties. They now have constituency projects that they do, and they're supposed to hold executive accountable. They're supposed to be the voices of the people. They're supposed to be the activists in government. But unfortunately, we don't have that. So those are the places where I feel Nigerians, we need to be more focused, because we're always focused on the executive and not on the legislative. Even when we are voting, it's who is governor, who is president. That's so no, those lawmakers, those House of Assembly members, National Assembly members, they are very important. And if we want a Nigeria that works, we need need to then get these people who have competence, character, capacity, who are going to, who are courageous and patriotic, who are going to give laws that's going to benefit the whole of Nigerians and not just a few people. And the legislative arm is so powerful that it doesn't need the assent of the president for law to be passed.
No.
You just go and do it with that.
Yes.
If you do this thing,
they can
give it to
veto
the president, forget about him. Within themselves, they can do that. When we are talking about a new constitution, it's the National Assembly that will give us a new constitution. It's not the executive. It's not president or this thing. If you're talking about all the bills that people always talk about, we need to have this thing. What's that? Apart from resource control, oh gosh, the word has just gotten me. This is where they will always say restructuring.
Okay, restructuring.
You understand?
Power devolution.
It's the National Assembly that is going to sit down and actually give all of this in. But what we have is that they've given up of their power. I used to say the only thing that the executive had was money, because they were the ones who controlled
the money.
Money. Then my husband said to me, no, they're not. They don't have the money. That without the approval of the National Assembly,
they don't go nowhere.
They can't get the money without appropriation.
So what does that then mean? That the legislative arm is so powerful, but yet we're getting people who throw away their power, who don't understand their power, who now become puppets to the people in the executive.
Okay, so let me tell you the capturing of that executive legislative arm of government. Now, from when they were, a lot of people came into this present 10th assembly not knowing that they were ever going to come there. On the back of, let's say, Labour Party or Peter Obi, they wrote there. Now they are there now. You know, I brought out the statistics the other day. The opposition would have been very powerful. But
because most APC would have been a minority if all the opposition
came together. Yes. But what they did was that the ruling government at the moment knew what was coming and used a lot of money, because a lot of these people didn't have money.
So this is the thing.
Yes.
So I speak my language. Who know ya? Mark the scratch the person when you don't know your power.
Yeah.
This same executive, right? The money that they have comes from you.
Yeah.
If you hold this executive accountable and make sure that they do the work that they will do it for your people. The money you are currently spending as a lawmaker, you won't even need to spend it.
Yes.
So you have like your legitimate money attached to it. If work is a lot of people are coming to you for you to come and pay their children's school fees.
Yes.
If there were schools where there are good quality
teachers,
education, public school, free, primary, secondary, would they come to you for school?
They won't
come to you for school.
If there are
hospitals where things are working, if executives do their work, you are on their neck, they do this. Will they come to you? They wouldn't come to you. So it's the thing about where people are bought. People don't understand their value. People are hungry, stomach infrastructure. That's why they will say they will give you certain, is it $1,000 or whatever. The other time they wanted to pay, pass this petroleum bill, I think they said they gave $3 million to bribe. That was the report that was out there. And I'm like, a whole National Assembly, you guys are so cheap. $3 million that somebody... How much did the richest man, is it the richest man, second richest man, they buy rings?
Jeff Bezos.
$5 billion, right? They buy ring for a woman. So now the whole of National Assembly, bag. So they go hold on bag.
To sell your conscience.
I have my Birkin bag. $3 million. Now all of you now, they share. No, consider a man of the hour. No. So it's because they don't know their value and they're ready to sell that. So when they bring in money, they fight over value. So it's been this whole Ghana must go mentality, politics, they have been going
since
1999. And they've not been able to get over it. But the thing also is this, and this is where we must ensure that that free, fair, credible election is allowed to happen. That's why the Electoral Act, having amendment of the Electoral Act is very important, because by the time these people in offices understand that the people have the power and the capacity to be able to remove them, that will begin to make them behave well. You've done all, you've collected your money, no matter, you're coming to come and meet us. Next election, we are voting you out. But because they rely on the fact that there will not be free, fair, credible election. And they can buy their way, so people are grabbing. But on the flip side, though, do we have the moral justification to tell politicians not to loot money? Do we? Because when they are running for office, we don't donate to their campaigns. Somebody is telling you that, oh, if you want to be senator, oh, but the question that you asked me, I want to run for office. You think I'm going to bring my wealth that I've been building since when? I know when I they go school, I don't get breakfast, come back, I don't expect lunch. Now the money I don't get, don't do investments for ground. I don't they build house since 2007. Then I go and sell the house. Say I will bring 1 billion. Say I want to run for office for way to come and serve food. Because when people bring their own money, it's no longer politics. It's now business. It's entrepreneurship. So when they get there, they're going to do everything to recoup the money that they spend, make profit on the money that they spend, and then get money that they will use for the next election. So we as a people, because you ask a lot of people, whether educated, enlightened, you're telling them about when it comes to donating money to candidates. Say, no, it's the candidate that will bring money. Yes. You're doing small election, local government election, they run. Everybody is asking for money here, asking for money there. So when they win, what happens? So we also have to have our own rethinking on the issue. Common 1,000 where you go donate, go for candidate, you go to pay you for body. If 1 million Nigerians are to donate 1,000 every month, we will have 1 billion every month. In a year, we will have 12 billion. In 4 years, we have that 48 billion in 4 years. Imagine you keep that 48 billion. We, the people, will say we will use that money to ensure that people who have credibility, who will fight for Nigeria, who are courageous, who are patriotic, are elected into office. When they get in there, they know we're the ones, put it. They get in there and behave anyhow. Next time, we're not having them there. Because there are a lot of people who can't do the work, who have what it takes, but they don't have the money. And why don't they have the money? Because they were lawful, they were law-abiding, they had integrity, they didn't steal, they were incorruptible. When they were in offices, some of them were public servants, some of them were civil servants. When they were offices, they didn't steal. And then we end up there, the ones who are being mocked, the ones that steal. After stealing, first of all, they will steal like maybe 100, 150 billion. Then they will not use it. They will use some to hire sons. They will use the others to run for office. And then they will enter office. They will get immunity.
Okay, we can talk about this, but I'm definitely going to talk about so many other things. Now, in 2022, thereabout, you supported a candidate, Peter Obi. I think that was the first time publicly like that.
No, that's not the first time. That I supported a candidate?
Yes.
No, that's not the first time.
Okay. As a public figure?
Yeah, that's not my first time of supporting a candidate.
He said
no, that was not the public figure.
No, that's in 2015 I voted for Buhari.
Oh.
I voted APC. And that was for me, the reason why I voted APC was because of Osibanjo. Buhari, we'll come to that. Let me explain that. So in 2019, I supported Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. Publicly. Yeah, I was even in her campaign team. The 2015 I wasn't. We just needed things weren't going well. Jonathan needed to go, even though Nigerians have forgotten the suffering there because of Buhari's suffering. The same way some of them are forgetting Buhari's suffering because of suffering. So if they don't do the right thing now, they will forget Tinubu's suffering because of another suffering. That gone. So I've publicly, supported candidates in 2015.
Okay, all right. So you supported
Mr.
Peter Obi, but that's not what I'm talking about, because I will still come back to that. Now there is a coalition. In 2015 or 2014, there was a merger.
Okay,
They said this was a merger.
Yeah, it was
so
merger,
now it's the coalition. And publicly, you are in this coalition. And I think you think we need a coalition. But do you think this is the coalition we need?
This is the coalition we need. So the thing, when people ask me that question, I would ask them, where is the coalition that they formed? Nature abhors vacuum. You see, the thing is because people just sit down and do nothing. I remember a lot of time, February, if I still go to that's why I love my social media, Twitter. It will remind me of certain days. I was searching for some tweets and I saw where I talked about coalition in February, and I was saying to people, which coalition can people come together and begin to do their own coalition? People don't come together. You're meeting people, let's begin to work on this, let's begin to work. They don't do it. People just want to sit down with their, what do you call it, feeding bottle mentality. Everything will be done for them. And entitlement, everything will be done for them. And then they'll be the one to control how it will go. Life doesn't work like that. Life abhors vacuum. This coalition that we have now, is that the kind of coalition you want? Absolutely not. If you see the picture, by the way, I'm a fine woman. If you see the picture of where I was at that coalition, my face was because I was angry inside. What am I doing with this people?
Exactly.
Some of these people are supposed to be
but something has to be done.
Exactly.
something.
Some of these people suppose they jail.
Yeah.
People you don't they fight, you understand?
Yes.
Just like, oh Lord, have mercy. Some people are smiling. You didn't see me smiling in that place. But what? Is it what do you call this in a relationship of convenience, or what do you call it, marriage of convenience or whatever?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because people have not. I know people have spoken to are like, do we start a new party? Can we do this? Can we do that? A lot of people don't want to put in the work. And I will tell you something. Politicians in Nigeria put in the work. They work hard. We are busy sleeping.
Yes.
We are talking. There are busy people on social media. We don't see that we be analyzing. We are good at analyzing. When we meet, every Nigeria, sure, the one thing I don't do, when Nigeria meet, they start that Nigeria conversation. It's not, don't bring me in. Take action. Don't talk. We're tired of hearing the talk. And so Nigerians don't do this thing. You say this politician, they are working night and whatever, they are putting in the work. Even if they fail, they stand up again. They continue. We smarty. Somebody will tell you that I've been speaking since this. Nothing has happened. I will not. We have this arrogance.
Think that things should come out of free.
Yeah, and they feel like, oh, I've said this. Oh God, whatever you said, I would say yesterday died last night.
Yes.
Don't look at what you did yesterday. If what you did yesterday is still looking big to you, then you are not doing enough, according to Jim Rohn. So forget what happened yesterday. Whatever it is, we've not gotten the solution. Somebody come and tell you, oh, for the last 10 years, for the last 22 decades, I've been speaking on Nigeria matter, I'm tired. Where are you tired? The politicians are never tired. They will continue going. So yes, this coalition is not the coalition that would have expected to see. But where is the other coalition? Where are the people who have come? They haven't come. So make do with what you have now. And this is what I'm saying. Even though this coalition has been formed in this way, not necessarily it's been led, it's been how do I put it now, put together by these people that you probably will not want to be in the same place with. Why don't people now come in, enter, start putting the work, and take over and overwhelm them? Their numbers are few. If it's the party, okay, they've chosen a particular party for 2027 election. You tell people, begin to enter. They will give you excuses. And remember, excuses are like shoes. You always find the one that fits. If you don't want to do something, you can find an excuse for it. If you want to justify something, you can always justify something. So for me, it's this: get in there and put in the work. All those people there, they don't have two heads. They have one vote. If they have money, as in they have individual money, we can also have collective money. Are we ready to bring this collective money together?
And we are more in numbers.
We are more in numbers, and with the little. But you know that thing they say that if you cook for village, they go feed chopper. If village cook for you don't feed chopper. So we with our numbers, if we decide say we want cook for them, they don't go feed chopper. Even with our small money, but people don't want to do that. At this moment, this is what we have, right now. Can people begin to either support moving into the party, those that want to move in, be part of the leadership, be part of decision maker. Don't stay on the outside and say you want to do this. But there are people who want to feel good. You understand? For them, this sense of this sanctum, they sit in their sanctimonious thrones and feel that, oh yeah, I've never associated with this, I've never associated with that, I've never associated with it. It's good. You want to be that way, God bless you. Amen. You see me, I will associate with you.
Yes.
I will make sure that where I am, the conversation will be about Nigeria and how to move Nigeria forward. Right. And if you try to deviate it, you will have me to fight with in that particular place. I don't look at the fact that, my integrity is
at stake.
No, my integrity comes from staying away. The only way I will have bragging rights of integrity is that I was there, everything happened, and my integrity is still intact.
Yes.
Not that, I refuse to take part. That does not make have integrity. Is that even the mud, I went through the mud and I wasn't muddied. Yeah. My body, the stain, my white nose stain, I passed through the mud. Not be say I sit down for glass room where we say I know great, I can't say my white nose stain.
Nothing would have come there now.
Exactly. I passed through the mud. For the poto. I walk out through and yet I come out, my white come on, not there, my bragging rights there. So by those, everybody have a right to choose whatever it is that they want to. And I see people, who attack, who say, and I say to them, these politicians have nuisance value. Yeah. Right now, they have met us. Because I see people, Aisha, some of the people that you said are this, are that. I did for now this opposition I did since 2014 when I decided to take on Nigerian issue. Now where I did, they were the ones who went into government. I didn't meet them when they were in government. I never sat in the same place with them. It's not as if I don't have access. I didn't want to have access. I don't want to have. Just like the other day when they tell me I sit down, then they say they want to give me. They say national honor. I say for what? God forbid. First, know the chop food where man got today. Me, national who they give national honor. Of course, they come I can't go, they meet you, they breathe the same, and no fear happen. But you now finish or whatever. I'm in opposition. You now want to fight for a better Nigeria. I'm gonna work with you, even though I don't like you. And I'm not gonna hide the fact. Quickly round up now. And I will not hide the fact that I don't like you. You know I don't like you. I know you don't like. We don't like each other. Like I said, we are not friends, but we have common enemies.
All right. I was gonna put this question. David Mark just said, Senator David Mark said the other day, they are not working for a particular candidate. No, and that sounds democratic, no doubt.
Yeah.
Would you work with any candidate that the coalition presents?
Yes. Any candidate? No, I wouldn't. I will work with the candidate that I know is most competent. Otherwise, I'll go home and sleep. That's for me. I remember earlier I told you I don't vote party, I vote candidates. Yeah. And maybe that's why I've not done politics all this while, because I will have, my say. And let me tell you something. At this moment that we are in Nigeria, it's very critical. Forget you and I that are here. We don't have a problem. Even if we have a disastrous government in the next...
We'll go survive.
We go survive. That's the way people, they abuse me, say, 2020. I say, no matter what disaster, we will survive. But it's not about us. Yeah. There are people who can't survive.
True.
Who tomorrow, they are not sure of their tomorrow. We must have them in our minds. So Nigeria is at a critical place where you're not just playing politics, where it's not a matter of, let's come, anybody that they choose, and I go, no. Nigeria is at a place where you need to say, look, everybody, we need to be pragmatic. Who is the person that is going to motivate people to come out? Because at this moment, you have an incumbent, even though it's an illegitimate one. Yeah. This incumbent is there. To remove that incumbent, you need people to be motivated to come out, not anyhowness. And you need someone who has a blocking vote. There are 3 voting blocks. Sorry, who has a voting block? There are 3 voting blocks in Nigeria today. APC has 1. PDP has 1. Peter Obi has 1.
Yes.
So in 2014, all of us. Sure, most people didn't want Buhari. I never wanted Buhari. 2011, I didn't vote for Buhari. I didn't vote for Jonathan. So what are these people doing? Even 2014, I'm like, what Nigeria can. Even 2015, I was still treating Nigeria can do better than these 2 people. But you see, now I look back and I see the reason why that merger chose him ahead of Atiku. As of that time, it was Atiku we're rooting for. Let him be the one, not Buhari. Me, I was like, if you go back to my tweet, and I said this, and I always put facts there. Go back to my November, I think it was October 2014. I did a tweet. I said Buhari cannot win an election in Nigeria after what happened in 2011. I said that riot. Yes, I'm not saying he's the one that started riot, but he could have put a word and said stop. He didn't stop. But the whole thing, the way the nation was going, the terrorism, the everything, the corruption, the cost of living, even though now it looks as if it wasn't cost of living, it was cost of living then. And Nigerians were tired, and the arrogance of PDP, you understand? And we got to that stage. They knew that Buhari was the one who had a voting bloc. He had his own, is it 12 million people? Whether they are up to 12 million, I don't know.
But there was a block.
There was a block that were with him, irrespective of what he did.
Yes.
So they needed that block. And then the other people angry. So with this also coalition, you also need that block, and you need to be pragmatic to say who is the person, not who needs that block, who motivates the people. If you remember during that coalition when Peter Obi was being announced, he said he motivates the young, the old, the whatever. Even people, I remember David Umahi after the 2023 election said he didn't even know that his family members were also obedient, because for presidency they voted Peter Obi, but for the other one, a lot of people voted him across APC, across PDP, so that's what you are harnessing. And this is someone who has said he has certain laid down this thing. You vote for him, you hold him accountable, which was what we're supposed to do in 2015 that we ended up doing. I tell you, one of the things that brought people over in 2015 was Osibanjo as running mate. Osibanjo was the one who started campaign in 2014 December. He started Common Sense Revolution, if you still remember. He was entering Molue, he was doing town hall, he was meeting people in their houses. And we're like, oh, this is a new way of campaign, not those politicians that would just do rally. And he came on and he was and everything he was working. That was when they were saying Buhari will focus on security, on the economy. I remember one thing. For people who say, oh, you voted for Buhari, who voted for Buhari? No. I voted for Osibanjo. And today I don't have issue with Buhari, so Osibanjo I have issue with. You understand? Remember this thing. when he now came, we didn't see that whole thing.
There's a reason for that.
That we wanted.
There's a reason for that.
So let me tell you something. Yeah. You see this thing called running mate. In my own, you know they say the running mate is a spare tire.
It's not even a spare tire. There are no specified role for.
Okay, so let me finish. Running mate is the spare tire you left at home.
Yes, exactly.
So when you now have a tire we don't puncture, you can't open your boot.
Because they're not there.
House. That's what the running mate. So for you to expect that in 20 wherever, so some people are going to be voting for running mate. No, they are going to go and sleep. And Kukuma say, make una Kukuma do it the way it is. So it's about being, that being pragmatic to say, who is it? That it's not about somebody's here, there, or not there. I saw a conversation, that someone made, and the analogy was that, it's only a southern president a northern president that can take out a southern president, or it's a lie. Buhari ran in 2003.
Yes.
He didn't take out Obasanjo.
No.
He didn't.
Yeah, 2007. He ran against the Northern.
Yes. It was northern. It was even not just northern affair. It was Katsina affair.
Katsina affair. It was Katsina affair. Yes.
It was Katsina affair. That happened. Then in 2011, you understand? He didn't win. Jonathan won. And the North voted for Jonathan. Even though some people today, you see them trying to say, the North voted. Yeah, he didn't win this, but he was able to pull percentage, substantial vote that led to that. 2015, because I saw they're trying to say that, 2015 that they brought in Buhari because Jonathan was southern, and that was no, that's not it.
That's not.
So the first thing, because I think many people forget how these things, or they were not as involved, or they didn't pay attention. First of all, they said there was a gentleman agreement that he was going to do 110 and leave. And when he did that 110, he didn't leave. So that, of course, upset politically a lot of those politicians. Then, and I think this is one thing that a lot of people in Nigeria forget, that PDP only printed one form in 2014. Not only was there a gentleman agreement that you are not going to run again, now you are stopping every other person from running for you. Anything that I say, I always say, people verify, go and confirm. If I'm lying, come back to me. It was only one form. So it was that form, they saw this only to Jonathan. So say everybody that nobody else, there was not going to be any primaries or whatever, nobody else was going to contest. And those were the things that made people angry. Those politicians angry, they started leaving. On the issue of, they lost 5 governors even before election. Yeah. You understand?
Led by Amechi.
Yes. How did they lose that 5 governors? Starting from that governors forum, who will be the chairman of governors forum?
Amechi.
Amechi won. They did election, they counted. I think that's when they say 16 is greater than 19.
Yes.
He won, they counted it. They didn't know maybe there was a video or whatever. They counted. And then he supported Jonah Jang. That Jonah Jang must be the district. Those are the things that brought in. And there was that fight between Patience, Jonathan's wife, Patience. Nigeria forget a lot of things. And Amechi. Yeah. Remember Amechi's security was taken away from him. They wanted to do all. So these were all the things that made those politicians angry. And then the people were looking at the issue of the abduction happening, the bring back Chibok girls that were taken away. The way it took 19 days before Jonathan made mention, said anything about Chibok girls. They denied it. The wife said that it didn't happen. She was the one that started that. Yes, that was she was the one that started that it didn't happen. Now only we were people now make it try to say that she was being sympathetic. No, she was mocking them. Yeah. That if to say they carried
it was really happened, you would have come to Abuja.
All of them, yes, now you go Wakacom. You remember exactly. Now you go Wakacom. That was how that was 19 days before Jonathan spoke on that issue. So these are the things, and the bombings that were going on made people angry. So politicians were angry on one side, this one. So it's not a matter of because if you want to remove a certain president, you make me drop that.
But those are things that are being peddled right now by the members of the coalition. Now
everybody wants their own.
Now Peter Obi has not told us that he has left Labour Party.
He hasn't left Labour.
He has also not told us that he has joined ADC.
Yeah.
But he said
it, maybe you didn't hear. He has said said it. He's still in Labour Party.
He's still in
I
Labour
know,
Party.
that's what I'm saying.
But he's with the coalition.
Yeah, he's with the
Is it-
coalition.
he has not told us that he has joined ADC.
As a
He
party.
hasn't joined.
He has-
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No. When you say when you say he has not told you
That he
as
has
if-
left Labour
but
Party.
he has told you that he's in Labour Party.
But he's in
Exactly.
coalition.
He's supporting the coalition, and the coalition is for 2027. Most of them haven't left their place.
Okay,
so
so-
that's why I say it's not a merger.
Yeah.
It's not a merger,
coalition.
exactly.
And
So-
it's for 2027.
27. Okay, so now the way the coalition itself is going, number one, let's look at it in this structure.
Okay.
The coalition is not as organized as it's supposed to be. From the registration, the taking over of the party,
When you say registration, what does that mean?
okay, so no, not registration, sorry.
Uh-huh.
From the people that are coming into the party now and taking over the party, there's no NEC meeting, all those kind of things, registration. From the party, they are crying that Senator David Mark is not supposed to be the chairman. I mean, all this organization the party is supposed to have, they don't have it at the moment. Now, will someone join that kind of a coalition in a particular party that is not standardized?
Well, I don't know about the standardization, so I don't think it's something that I'm able to make comment on. It's not something that I know what has been done or what had not been done. But what I know is that the party was adopted, because I saw a particular, I think it's one of their former president, their former their presidential candidate for
Kachuku or something.
2023 election, saying that they don't agree to the coalition. And I'm like, okay, what I didn't understand was this: it wasn't a merger, like you rightly pointed out. They are not taking your party. All they say is that they are adopting
your party.
That this your party is what they will now all support as they go to the 2027. So what's the cry?
Are you rejecting supporters?
Yes, exactly. And you know, in the party, you can't. No, I'm going to come back to you on the next. On the party, you can't stop anybody from entering the party. Even if you do a brand new party today, anybody can join it. That's what. So I didn't understand where that is coming from. On the issue of the chairman, I know there was resignation. Definitely, if you say to me today that either David Mark or Aregbesola, they are not party members, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't think they are party members. They've done that. They are already ADC, party members. And so when they did, this one resigned and said, I'm handing over to you. It's like a caretaker committee. It's not as if they've been either interim, I think it's interim or caretaker, that kind of a thing, and they go on with it from there. It's different, I think, from say, oh, they are now the chairman. Is it substantive? Normally I forgot. So that's what the legal thing. But what I'm just saying too, looking at from where you are, that they probably are going to go into that Congress. Is it Congress and this NEC meetings and do all of that. But this one is to say, okay, for example, I don't know how they arrived at that. To say I've resigned, but these are members. Yeah. You hold this position for now. That's what happened. And so it's different. It's not a merger or anything. It's that support. For the rest of them, they're still in their respective parties. And you see some of them say they're going to remain where they are.
People like Dati, because Dati has spoken about you, that is still in Labour.
Even Tambo has said he's still in PDP, but he's in coalition.
So that's what even Peter Obi has mentioned that. And let me clarify, because I see a lot of people, there have been a lot of questions on this. The coalition is on. It's for 2027 election. Don't forget that elections are happening. They're going to happen in this year. We have the gubernatorial. Of course, in February we are looking at the council election
in February.
They are going to come up in February, and they have already adopted.
I won't be able to take a question.
No, I don't want that question to go. Please, give me very brief.
Okay, very brief.
You said no life is more sacrosanct than the other, and that's true. Bring back our girls. We saw the effort, Obi, Ozekwesili, protest and all that. Do you think insecurity between that time and now has improved? Do you think people are no longer being adopted? Why are there no coordinated efforts to do protests, things like that? Or we are getting used to people being adopted and being killed? Or the people that did those jobs, then people like you got other businesses to do, or you have other activism to do? Because people are asking those questions. thinking it was out of animosity against Jonathan. So we want to know what has been happening in that arena.
So,
as brief as you can.
So I've always had businesses, and I never stopped my business because I was doing Bring Back Our Voice movement. Because in this Nigeria, if you are poor, you're nameless, faceless, and voiceless. So I need my money. The reason why I can talk the way I talk and call anybody's name because I'm financially independent. I don't go to anybody to ask for anything. So my warehouse never closed. By the way, I also sell properties if you want to buy. Okay. For that question, first of all, I'm going to say to people, maybe I've been doing it the wrong way. So why the people who are asking this question, why haven't they come out to go and advocate for people that are out there? I think there's this thing that Nigerians do, and also maybe more of Africa, where people sit down, like I said earlier, in their sanctimonious thrones, and then begin with their entitled mentality to come and tell you, this is how you advocate, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. Nobody else owes anybody advocacy. Nobody owes anybody a voice. We all have voices, and we are all citizens, and people have to use those voices. Insecurity is there. As you're sitting there, they can come and abduct us.
Yes.
And let me say this thing. I say it a lot, and I started saying since 2014 that we are all victims waiting to happen. Yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors, and tomorrow's victims will be today's survivors. Who are today's survivors? You and I, those of us who are alive. The victim card is going around. Being a victim in Nigeria is no longer a matter of if. It's a matter of when. And that's why you see people say, oh, I never knew Nigeria will happen to me. I'm like, oh, really? When Nigeria was happening to other people, you were there. So we're talking about that insecurity. The insecurity is there. We've been fighting. When we talked about the Chibok girls abduction, we said the Chibok girls were a symbol of those that were taken before and after them. You can't keep, and the reason why for Chibok girls, we could have a name that we use, whether these were students who were in school, who had their identity and everything down there. So the government couldn't deny that this. In short, remember that a few days after they were abducted, the military had come out to say that they had all been rescued except 8. And when it was the parents coming out to say, we've not seen our children, that they know, they now recanted that statement, and we went off from there. November, I think it was it December 2014, 165 women and girls were taken away from Gumsuri.
Yes.
You understand? We asked, the Bring Back Our Girls movement asked the military, okay, can we have the identity? Can we have everything? We didn't get them. In February, when Jonathan's government postponed election by 6 weeks to fight insecurity, the same insecurity that they denied was a major issue that they said they had taken to the fringes, when they postponed it, they started rescuing people, and they were rescuing them in their thousands, 3,000, 5,000. We're like, why are they always?
I thought it never happened.
No, apart from that, why are they always zero? Why are they always
round figure?
You know, if you rescue human being, they always then that's why I say 3,001. But where I'm getting at is this. The first time they rescued, they said to us that the 165 women and children from Gumsiri were part of them. How do you verify? You can't. Because you don't have their names. But it was Chibok girls.
School.
The moment they left, they would say, oh no, Chibok girls are not. They were like, how do you know? First of all, do the verification, because we even put out a document for them, verification, authentication, reunification system on if you get these people, you are able to rescue. This is what to do to verify them, to authenticate them, and then reunited with their families. But you see, in the case of Chibok girls, the government couldn't say, oh, we found them. They are not just numbers. They had names, they had pictures, and they had families that were waiting for them. We had asked that the whole Northeast, they should put together a list of people who are missing with their identity, so that you can hold government accountable with every one of them. People were not ready to do that. In 2015, we started the missing persons register. We gave those things to Jonathan. We tried to meet Jonathan several times. He didn't. We met with, I think we had 2 meetings with Buhari. First was on the 8th of July, 2015, and then the other was 14th of January 2016, which the meeting didn't go well at all. We had our fallout in that, because it came with their arrogance of not wanting, he didn't want to talk. Parents had come in from Borno. Let me digress a little bit. Parents had come in from Borno. Some of them sold their produce to be able to come to Abuja, and they got into Abuja, and the president dared to tell us that he was in a meeting with another person. Are you okay? Who are you meeting with? Your people who voted you, who you're governing. They've come, see what is happening. They've cried, they've come, and then you say you're meeting. So he sent in the representative, and we said we are not leaving. The parents also said they are not leaving. So when he came, I think he came with that anger. He just literally berated them, just like what we saw recently by the person, by Mr. Tinubu, going to Benue and telling all those people that, oh, this and that, and talking about himself and all of that. That was exactly the same thing that Buhari had done to us. And so there was that anger. He left angrily, and we, the movement also, left in that manner. So we've had this, where parents, this missing persons register, our own was that, let Nigeria, until the military started telling us that thousands of people were rescued. We didn't know thousands of people had been abducted. So we said, can we have a register where if every Nigerian goes missing, we would be able to know the person goes into that register. Until that person is rescued, we'll then know that this person has been rescued. When we started, gave it to, nothing was done. I think later we now went to Human Rights Commission. Yeah. We met with them. They took it on board, and then the Vice President's office, we're now working on it. At the end of the day, it hasn't come to light. So we've been advocating. There have been a lot of abduction that has happened over time. Is it the one of Dapchi, Leah Sharibu? Many more have gone on. When we told Nigerians that by doing nothing with the Chibok girl, on the 1,000th day of the Chibok girl's abduction, my daughter wrote, a piece, and there was a statement she's made. She said, as long as Chibok girls are in captivity, we all are in captivity. I think my daughter was around 14 when she did, because she read it out, at this thing that we had. We don't call it memorial, commemorating that particular date. But many Nigerians don't understand that as long as Chibok girls are in captivity, that we all are in captivity. They just feel that as long as they are safe, it's okay and everything can move on. So this thing is, the abduction has been going on. Insecurity hasn't improved. We've had our ups and downs. It looks as if it's improving. And then the next thing you see, our military are being killed. The ones who are in places where they are taking on the terrorists, they are being killed. Then all of a sudden again, we come back to this. We are currently now back to a place where bombs are falling. But Nigerians think it's okay because it hasn't gotten to their doorstep. And then we have the National Security Advisor coming to tell us that everywhere is safe. I dare him to go and drive and walk around without insecurity. Walk around everywhere. Let us know how safe he is. If they will not come and carry us. Why did Buhari leave Daura? Let him stay now. Let him stay. We had a president, a commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, go to his hometown, and terrorists abduct, and this was December 2020, and terrorists abducted children from their school in his state within less than 200 or 300 kilometers from his hometown. And Nigerians thought it was okay. Even the presidency couldn't see how bad that was. That a whole president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was going back to his town. The terrorists did not, abort their mission. They still carried those boys. I think that's Kankara boys. There's so many abductions now. You're thinking of the names and you're thinking, they carried those boys. They worked with them for days. We couldn't rescue them. It was negotiation. They paid ransom and they brought them back. That should worry every one of us. But most times Nigeria sit down. Oh, where is Aisha Yesufu? Where is Dr. Bezekwesi? Where are you? You not be person. I mean, I drop this English. When you take, don't be person you take. Some of them go to force and they'll be man for house. They carry our children anyhow and sit down on it. They say where this person is. Where are they talking? You can't talk. Can't talk. It was my own talk.
Is their tongue?
Is their tongue the tongue?
Okay, well, we can't go on and on and on and on, but it's been more than an hour of talking, and there's so many other things. Yeah, but actually, you're going to come back again because we are not there. No,
I don't promise you that one.
But you know me,
because I made a promise. This thing has been like this. Even today, if I see my sister, I have to say to her, say, I'm coming out. I enter car, no crystal. The other car, no key. The other one, they've taken it. I have to tell my sister, I said, it seems as if this interview is cheap. No, I'm making no promise.
No, you won't make promise. No, I don't make but promise. You know where we will meet.
If you meet there, I fit. If I make a promise now, so
you'll be obligated.
Exactly. So that's the thing.
It's all right. I appreciate your promise, and I appreciate you fulfilling your promise as well.
I had to even get this here. I was it was at the book launch. You wanted an interview, and I told all media I'm not doing an interview. Yes. And I said, look, I'm not doing an interview. I promise I'll give you I'm not doing an interview there, but I'll come and do interview on your podcast and whatever. And so it's been a burden. So
but it's quite engaging and revealing as well, because that's what Nigerians want to hear. Because you see, until the body of truth it comes out, a lot of things will not be lifted.
Yeah, it is. So what I just point out, for me, it's not just, I don't just make statements. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm obligated to do it. For some people, like, okay, no, you just said this. So that's why I'm very careful, especially when it comes to anything. This one, I know.
Well, thank you for coming. Don't worry. Me and Aisha, we are from the same place, so I know how to get her. If not, I will carry her go village. No, when we get there, all right, Aisha, thank you so much.
Thank you for
Kingsley, thank you for helping me propping up this question. All right, it's been Voting Arena. It's been beautiful. This Land Life podcast. Thank you for watching.